Are we doing a presentation first or after the other reports?
Well, I had it in the agenda to go first, but if he's not here, then well,
Well,
actually,
we
I'm sorry.
can
Let me
do.
share my screen and we can get the agenda up there.
So you had it to go before the call to order.
Yeah, our reports are first, correct. And Manny just hopped on as well, so we've got four now.
We need 5 for quorum.
Correct. We do.
Good
Okay.
afternoon.
Hey, Manny.
Hey, Manny.
Hi.
So on the basis that these are not going to be moved and seconded, will we move on to the reports?
Yeah, sounds great.
If you let me know when we have quorum, and then we will go back to the guest speaker when they arrive. Is that right?
Yeah, sounds great. And I'll keep messaging him as well.
Okay. All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our general meeting for the Interplanetary Chamber of Commerce. My name is Professor Carolyn McGregor. And I, along with my fellow co-founders, Tony LaRosa and Andrew Lord, founded the Interplanetary Chamber of Commerce as the first Chamber of Commerce for space. I'm delighted to have the role of President and CEO for the ICOC. And today, as part of the general meeting, we're going through some of the functional areas that we've established for the ICOC. And we have a presentation that we will have through this meeting today. The presenter's just running late at the moment. So the first report that we're going to jump through until we establish quorum, we're going to jump through the reports to the membership committee report, which is an update from myself and Tony LaRosa. We continue to grow a strong membership in the ICOC. A number of organisations from different countries showing interest. We're starting to identify sectorial clusters. So we're identifying a sectorial cluster in the area of human health in space and particularly human monitoring in space. And we've been doing some work for supply chain in space as well as telecommunications. So we're really starting to gather those clusters within the ICOC, and we will be starting to have some events around those areas. So watch out for that. Now, in terms of new member update, I'll hand over to Tony if you're able to just comment on some of the new members that we've had for this past month.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the last month, and I will apologize ahead of time, I have not had a chance to follow up with a lot of them. I did have 5 to 7 various members at the last conference I was at verbally agree to join. We have not had follow-up meetings due to schedule, so unfortunately I don't have any exciting news at this point.
But there certainly is a pipeline, which is great, and we will continue to progress that pipeline, which is wonderful. Great. So we will just sort of roll through in the interest of time, so we have time for the presentation. Marketing committee report. Andrew, over to you.
All right, on the marketing committee, we've been working, main thing with marketing is our website, making sure our website is continuing along for our members. That's the main thing we're having for our members to use is our iChamberX site. And so on that front, the Ontario Tech team of students have now completed most of their initial work here for this semester, and they're generating their final report for the project. And so we've had some good progress this last couple of months on our website. So that's our main marketing report.
Thank you. We did identify that as an important enabler for the ICOC and why we've been prioritising that as part of our marketing efforts. So thank you very much, Andrew. Education committee report. I have the lead on that one along with Kelvin. So there are a number of initiatives that we are establishing for some short courses and some strategic interaction with a number of universities, with Ontario Tech currently taking the prime. So we will soon be announcing a exciting partnership that we have between Ontario Tech and Space Career Academy for offering an integrated set of short courses that you complete progressively with the ability to get a combined certificate when you complete all of them. There will be more details to come on that, together with some other initiatives. But really excited to soon launch that particular offering that will be advertising to students and people who are interested in future careers in the space sector. So we will then be, creating that pipeline, which leads us on to the Talent Pipeline Committee report. So is Kelvin on?
Kelvin is not on. I was hoping he'd give an update on a couple of things as well. Yeah, but no, he's not here today.
Okay, so we might hold over the Talent Pipeline Committee report because it does reflect some of the other initiatives that are occurring within his business as some of our flagship efforts to support a talent pipeline for our members. So we will hold over that report to the next month, which brings us to the Lobbying Committee report. And Andrew, back to you.
Sorry, Tony here. I'd heard Andrew.
Sorry, Tony, yes.
No, you're fine. I was looking at something else. I was trying to figure out where our speaker is. As far as lobbying goes, a couple weeks ago, I was fortunate enough to go to the Science, Space, and Transportation Committee on the House and meet all of the active members there, or most of the active members there. Some of them were unable to make it. Started working with a couple of their offices, trying to make sure that certain policies are either getting pushed through or showing where we're positive or in dissent. We're not. Unfortunately, I don't have those in front of me specifically, but there are a few states working on growing their commercial space sector, including Texas. So obviously, Representative Babin being there, discussed with him, which will also kind of tie into our next committee as well, which is the event report. But that's all I have on the lobbying front.
Great, thank you. From a Canada perspective, I'm now a member of the advisory committee for Space Canada. So I'll be able to, there are two flagship events for Space Canada, which, if you don't know, is the professional association, I guess you would call it, for space companies in Canada. And with a predominant focus on trying to lobby with government. So that, together with my connections I have with Canadian Space Agency for the two studies that are active on the ISS currently, it gives me some good connections within Canada to promote the work of the ICOC and to create ties between the ICOC and Space Canada as well. In Australia, there's been a change in shift of priorities at the federal level, a huge interest in space at the state level in New South Wales, where the IAC is going to be hosted in September. So continuing efforts to work on partnerships with the New South Wales government and key organisations in New South Wales. So more news on that to come. So that's 3 countries that we have in active initiatives in lobbying at the moment. For networking and events, Tony, did you want to comment on some of the initiatives that we are working on at the moment?
Yes, absolutely. And again, apologies, checking on some messages. Sure, I can try to get our speaker. As far as the networking and events, we are in the process, very early process, I will add, of creating our first conference for later this year. We do have a date in mind. I won't share any details yet just because we're still in the very early process on what this is going to entail. Sam Peterson, who's actually here today, he is one of the planning committee members that we'll be working with. So him and I are working on that proposal, but there should be, hopefully, a conference later this year, and we'll keep everyone posted on the dates.
Great. So at lightning speed, we've provided a very succinct but active update on what we've been progressing over the last month. So I believe we're still waiting for the speaker to join. Is that correct, Tony?
That is correct. And unfortunately, I still have not received anything from him. I'm not sure if something happened or if it slipped his
Okay.
mind. But either way, if it's okay with you, Carolyn, and the rest of the executive committee members, I can have a follow-up meeting and record it and post it along with this so we can still put that policy brief onto our YouTube channel if that's okay with everyone.
Yeah, that's fine from my perspective. So we're still sitting at 4 executive committee members, although this is a general committee meeting, so I don't know that we're a quorum. New business with conference planning, we did sort of cover that off under events, so I'm not sure if there's anything else to say for the new business at this point.
Nope, there's not. Sorry, I put that on there twice.
Okay. So noting that we didn't have a formalized agenda to take any other business, I'll just call the question to see if there's any other business from the group that we wish to speak about at this point.
Steve Wood here. Chime in quickly, Tony, on the you brought up the transportation committee in various states looking to enhance their space sector, and I would be really curious to hear whether the transportation committee has any awareness of the temporary presence defense to patent infringement. There's a 1993 case on point, Hughes Aircraft Co. versus U.S., and that seems to have benefited NASA nicely at the time, but it also sets up university, government lab, and startup patent owners as especially susceptible to competition by foreign registered space objects, which can be imported and launched all while willfully infringing U.S. patents with no recourse.
Stephen, that's a great question. Thank you. I unfortunately have not heard anything about that recently in the transportation, at least in the circles I've been talking to. Doesn't mean it's not on the table to revisit, but I'll have to do a little bit more digging before I can answer that one. That's a good question.
Could I get your email? And I'd be happy to share with you some of my research into this intersection of space law and patent law, patent attorney myself.
And I'll send you mine and I will forward it to Carolyn as well. Her and I do a lot of the lobbying together.
Excellent.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the comments. Any other comments for the other business section? Open discussion.
Go ahead, Sam. I know. I figured you were
I'm just going to say thank you, and thank you for inviting me to the meeting and everything. If I'd known earlier that you were trying to network with the IAF, I was at the IAF spring meetings last week because I'm there every spring planning the ISC. So I could have carried a message to people there if I'd known ahead of time, but it's a little bit late now.
Oh, no worries. I know Carolyn and I have both been talking to people out there as well. I actually didn't know you were on the planning committee, so we'll follow up about that as well. But I know that Carolyn and I have kind of worked with some of them trying to see where we can tie in and where we can help.
There are still the deadline for special sessions for I think they're calling it the Global Networking Forum is in April, like the April 18th. Seems to be in my brain right now. It's about 2 or 3 weeks away though. So if you do want to, try to have a session added, there's still time to submit a proposal for one. I can find the link and send it to you, Tony.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm still not getting anything from our presenter, so I will I'll schedule a follow-up with him, record it, and I'll attach it to this video once we complete that.
Right. All right. Well, if we have no other business, then I think we will draw this meeting to a close. Tony, please note that the minutes from this meeting and the last will need to both be on the agenda for the next month's meeting for approval with a quorum.
All right, will do.
This is where we might invite anybody who wanted to present as well for an impromptu presentation as well. Is this our...
Exactly. Do we want to leave the recording going or stop it?
Yeah, I'd say leave the recording going. If Sam or Boris or anybody would like to give a pitch, Sam or Stephen, about what they're doing in space and how that ties to the Interplanetary Chamber.
Greetings. It is interesting for me to see how this works out with the group. I have a number of startups. One is actually really connected to the space economy, and it's a new thing. It's about the use of decentralized finance and Web3 technologies in financing space robotics mission. It's called the Lunar Exchange. So I was wondering how it works out, if it has some kind of sync with the group, and because I mean it's supposed to bring in together a number of players in the industry from all over the verticals and horizontals, of the industry.
Sounds great. You tell us about it here. Give a quick presentation about it. And then for us, we have a place for you on our website where you can create a listing so everybody can see about the Lunar Exchange. It sounds like a perfect match. So if you want to give a quick presentation about it.
Well, it's the presentation is still not ready. I mean, the website is working.
Or the elevator pitch, we say, just the.
Yeah. So it's a Web3 system that is working with the Ethereum chain and crypto scheme. So maybe when you meet next time, I could prepare some kind of slides and do it then. This is just that it's very new.
Perfect.
I was hoping to meet you all and see how it works out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Boris, I did have your request and I meant to reach back out. I apologize for not getting there yet. But yeah, every month, what we do is we open up, as you can see, open up the floor to our members to give a small presentation, 3 to 5 minutes-ish, something like that. We have sign-up sheets, which I'll hopefully share a little bit more. This time it was kind of internal, just sending me a direct message, but I will work with you and we'll definitely find a time slot for you next month. That's not a problem at all.
Okay, thank you all.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in the meantime, we could get you, have you signed up on iChamberX at our website for businesses?
Yeah, there are 2 websites actually. One leads to directory, and that's the iChamberX.com. Is this one that is where I could join?
Yes, join up there. There's a free listing for you, so you can put the Lunar Exchange there, and then be ready for next week.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can help you with that at all if you need any help.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Well, let's see. It looks like Steve might have something. Is that okay? Yeah, let's go ahead and let Steve share.
There we go.
Yeah, Tony, I figured I'd just pull it up for the group right here, the deck that I'll pass along and just narrate it real quickly. Let me get to the share button here. Here we go, screen 2. So this is an excerpt from a deck that I initially put together for Association of Commercial Space Professionals in their Space Regulatory Boot Camp. And you can see the first slide here really just well, are we at the first slide? Legal basis for national jurisdiction in outer space, registration convention, outer space treaty, etc. And of course, we have up to 4, maybe plus potential launching states. The maritime platform can get a little wonky with the ownership versus flag versus crew of the vessel, etc. But the state procuring the launch is really the one that can be the most
far flung as we go through the intersection with patent law and space law. Paris Convention on Protection for Industrial Property actually includes the first international version of the temporary presence defense, initially legislated in the UK in the early 1850s and up to U.S. Supreme Court and Brown v. Duquesne in like the mid 1850s. We were, of course, each other's primary trading partners at the time. And so when the UK legislated, they included a reciprocity provision, which ultimately, I think, had our Supreme Court really wanting to be in compliance with that reciprocity. Through various national amendments regarding the Paris Convention, these countries here in the lower right-hand corner have all extended the temporary presence defense, historically oriented towards, multimodal, protecting multimodal international shipping to space objects. And some more so than others. For instance, the U.S. We up above includes the revision to the 1982 NASA Act that changes the definition of vehicle under our patent code to include any object intended for launch, launched, or assembled in space. Whereas here in the bottom bullet, you can see that the French law only extends to objects intended to be launched into extra atmospheric space and introduced or imported into French territory. So the French do not go so far as to apply temporary presence defense to objects assembled in space, which the U.S. does. And that's the only reason to include assembly in space is if we're talking about re-entry activities. And therefore, if temporary presence can apply to re-entry, I'll just skip down here and we can kind of run through some of these slides and the visual roadmap I've created. And so launch vehicles theoretically included, any good or product, irrespective of whose launch vehicle, although launched from U.S. facilities, also included. Not allowed to go to a U.S. registered facility, right? So if it goes to a U.S. registered capsule for local use and consumption, that can be sued for infringement. But if it's going to any other foreign registered capsule, or if it's a foreign registered satellite or space object itself, it gets to come into the U.S., use our launch facilities, skirt any potential domestic U.S. patents, essentially just willfully infringe those patents. If in the Hughes case, if Hughes had a domestic patent in the UK, they could, because that's where they were imported from, they could have enforced there, and this would have been a non-issue, right? So this is really strictly for folks who own only US patents. But as you can see, I've kind of gone through and done an extrapolation, etc., on the law as it stands, and I'm not sure if I'm able to really easily get rid of my screen share here. I'm looking for that now.
I can stop your share if you need.
Yes, please. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, no problem at all.
So yeah, just wanted to share that quickly with folks, and please feel free to share the slide deck with the group as well.
Yeah, please send it to me. I'd be happy to. That'd be awesome.
Excellent, will do.
Thank you.
That was great. Thank you, Stephen.
Absolutely, Andrew. My pleasure.
And do we have you listed on iChamberX yet?
Since I'm not sure, I'm guessing no. So that's called iChamberX.
iChamberX is our space business directory. So that
Excellent.
way all of the people who are doing business in space, companies in space, can find each other easily. So this looks like a great match as well.
Terrific. I'll be sure to get up there. Thank you, Andrew.
Okay. And if you need help, or if you want us to do the listing for you, just let us know. We're happy to.
Yeah.
Appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, iChamberX is a partnership between the ICOC and Proved Up to provide the directory. So that's why it's hosted under iChamberX. Great. Any other comments? Anyone want to present for their business before we close out the meeting today? I note that Fireflies has in the chat already summarized the meeting for today, and so it hears me as opposed to seeing what's in the chat. I have provided the IAC link for the that action item for the Global Networking Forum for IAC. I've provided that in the chat, Tony. The deadline is the 18th of April for at midnight CST. So we do have those details. If you can grab that link, Tony, and we can coordinate what type of event we can propose for IAC, because I am going to be there.
I will be there as well, 100%.
All right.
Did Sam happen to have any comments you want to add about your company? No? Okay, sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you everyone very much for joining us today. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks,
you all.
everyone.
See you, Sam. We'll talk soon.
Bye, everybody.